Hello friends, it is June 28th and it is an absolutely gorgeous day, and so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to take you around and do a little bit of a garden and chicken update. And my knee and my hamstring are feeling a lot better. They're not completely well, but they're doing so much better. So it's going to be a slow stroll throughout the garden, but you won't know that because I'll cut all that extra time out. But anyway, let's go ahead and start here on the deck, and I will show you what's going on with my houseplants and my herbs and things that I have here on the deck. So my houseplants are doing really well. The last update video I gave you, I pruned out a lot of the dead stuff, and they are really doing well. They don't really need any water. I haven't got that one pruned yet, but we'll get to it. We had rain the other day and I forgot to bring my cushion in, so it's up there drying out. My kale, this plant, some kind of an insect got to it, and so I'm just going to pull that and feed it to the rabbits. So it's pretty much done. Up here, this is thyme, and I need to start harvesting it and getting some of it in the dehydrator. Get that done. This is my mint. It's doing really well. I need to get some of that dehydrated as well. My geraniums are pretty. They're blooming. I don't know, there's a few dead leaves on there. I don't know if that's normal for these plants. And these are my 2 sunflowers. It's all that I could get out of what I had started from seed. It's terrible germination rate. Not real sure why, but those are the 2 I got, and they're growing, so I don't know how well they'll do in this pot, but we'll see. And then my daisies, they are doing fabulous. As you see, we have a new blossom that's opened up, and if you look down in, there's a ton of blossoms that will be opening up soon. So that's going to be really beautiful. When and if it gets like lots of blooms at the same time, I will take a picture of it. And in this planter, I have a couple of beets that look really good and a carrot that looks really good. This is the kale, the red Russian kale that I've really been enjoying, but it's about to the end of its season or life, or whatever you might want to say as well. These are just my other herbs here. My cilantro, I just harvested a lot of that off of there and got it in the dehydrator, because as you can see, it is gonna bolt if I don't keep it cut back. This is my parsley. It's pretty much done for. This was actually a plant from last year, and it wintered over. I was really surprised, but it wintered over in my greenhouse. I was able to get a little bit off of it, but it never really did do very well second time around. I just consider it a bonus. My chive plant, I think it's past its prime. I really didn't get much dehydrated off of it. Next spring, I'm going to be more proactive and get that harvested more and get stuff in the dehydrator. And then my rosemary plant, I don't know, it's not growing very quickly. It looks healthy, but it's just not growing very quickly. This is another one. I'm actually going to bring this in the house in the fall, keep it through the winter and use it, and try keeping it over and getting a second season out of it. All right, let's go around back and look at the strawberries. Well, the strawberry plants are very healthy looking. This pot has some weeds in it I need to get pulled out. I haven't been able to really do much with it and take care of it for the last couple of weeks. We harvested from it, got quite a good harvest. I wasn't really able to put any in the freezer, but I was able to dehydrate some. And these are ever-bearing, so I'm thinking that they will have a second picking at some point. I don't really see any new blossoms on them yet, but I'll just keep them watered and keep the weeds out of them and see what happens. Hopefully they will bear a second time. My lavender bush is looking very pretty. Not a lot of blossoms on it, but the ones that I do have are beautiful. It needs to be watered. And then this pot definitely needs some water. This was just all volunteer morning glories. But I am definitely going to get some water on that because it's looking pretty sad. We had some rain the other day, but not very much and not enough. My daylilies did fairly good this year. They are getting kind of past their prime. They really need more sun. Believe it or not, when we planted these here nearly 30 years ago, this was all sun. Total sun here. Perfect spot for them, and they did really, really well, and they spread. But over time, the trees grew. And so now this is mostly shady over here, and that's why they don't do as well. But I don't want to move them. I don't have any other place to put them actually, so we just enjoy what little flowers we get, and maybe someday we'll get some of these trees taken out and it'll be more sunny over here again. Here is our potato garden. Yes, there's lots of weeds, but you can see the rows of potatoes. They have done excellent. Now, I don't know what's going on underneath the ground, but on top of the ground, they've done excellent. We are waiting for them to die down, and then we will harvest them. And if we can harvest them within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we are hoping that we can till this up and get a second planting of potatoes in. I think we will have enough time in our zone to get a second planting if we can harvest these within the next couple of weeks. Had Scott move the pepper plants over here where they get more sun. Yes, they need water. I need to get the sprinkler on these guys. They are drying up very quickly, and we used a lot of compost out of our compost pile to fill these pools. And look here, we got a volunteer tomato coming up in this one, and in this one over here we've got 2 volunteer tomatoes, and then something, I'm not sure what this is. Could be a cucumber, could be a cantaloupe, not 100% sure, but we're gonna let it go and see what it does. You can see the peppers are starting to blossom, but they are looking pretty droopy, so I do need to get them watered. Probably will wait a couple hours till we're not in the heat of the day and then get it watered. And Travis needs to take the weed whacker around and get all these bull nettles and stuff knocked down. That's the bad thing about having them here. We can't just mow this. It has to be, special care needs to be taken to it. Over here in the shady part, carrots love shade, so we've got the carrots going. We put all this cardboard down to try to help keep the weeds down, and it does. It absolutely does. But anywhere there's a gap, you can see the weeds growing. But anyways, here's the carrots. They are growing, doing really well. A little bit spotty in places, but not bad. Hopefully we'll get a really good harvest. It's going to be quite a while before they're ready to pull. Probably not until October-ish, end of September. My sister's sweet potato plant is doing really well. I'm hoping that it's not too shady here for it. I think sweet potatoes tend to like more sun, but we will see. Here's the other one, doing pretty well. Lots of weeds. It's hard for me to get out here and weed even before I hurt myself. My back does not like it. So anyway, more weeds. Over here, we put this tarp down so that the watermelon can run that way and not be interfering with the weeds. So we got to try to train it to go that way. They seem to be doing really well. And then this is a mystery. These are my zucchini and yellow squash. As you can see, they are blooming like crazy. And then we get some fruit. It gets to be about this size, and then it starts to shrivel up. As you can see, it's starting to shrivel up. They never mature, and I don't know why. I did a little research. They said the soil is lacking potassium and calcium. So as you can see, I put some eggshells around it, and I made some tea. It's called tea, but you don't drink it. It's banana tea. You take banana peels, cook it on the stove, cool the water down, and then water your plants with it. I did that the other day, and I think it needs it again, because otherwise we're not going to get anything off of these except for blossoms. Over the weekend, Scott got underneath the oak tree completely clean. It was full of weeds and leaves. He got it all cleaned out, got it mowed, and got the leaves out of it. And over here we have set up getting ready for butchering. Butchering is going to start this Saturday, July 1st. And I'm hoping we can get it all done in one day. That might be a bit ambitious, but that's my hope. We're going to have another table right here where my sister and I will work on piecing the chickens up. We rinse them in the sink. All the gross stuff happens at this end. It's going to be kind of like an assembly line. It'll come to us. I'm going to weigh them, note down the weight, rinse them, piece them up if we're going to, and then put them in a cooler full of ice. And when the cooler gets full, then Olivia will put them in the freezer in the house. Down here at this end, we will have a turkey fryer set up with a pot full of hot water for scalding, and then our chicken plucker. We have an automatic chicken plucker. Will be all right in this area. And there's the killing cones. Don't need to explain what goes on in those. So, speaking of the chickens, let's come and see them. You haven't seen them in probably 3 weeks. I saw them the other day, and I can't believe how ginormous they are. They are ginormous. If you see them, that one's standing right there. He's standing next to one of those waterers. That's a gallon waterer. I think I might turn the fan on for them. It's a little bit stuffy. It's not super hot, but I think I'll turn the fan on for them. The door is open. They can go outside if they want to, but right now they're choosing to stay inside. Let me turn the fan on for them. They like the fan. And you can tell the roosters from the hens. The roosters have the red combs that are really big, and the hens' combs are much paler and much smaller. Like over here by this feeder, those are all hens. Now Olivia filled all those feeders this morning, a couple hours ago, and they've got it eaten down already. She'll come out and refill them again here in another hour or so. All right, let's go over to the big garden now. You can see how dry everything is because we have not been getting enough rain. And I call this the big garden, but really it's not very big. It's the main garden. As you can see, we had some asparagus. that's gone to seed. And so over here we have our tomatoes. They're doing really well. They're all growing, and so far no signs of blight, which is something we fight. The basil plants are doing excellent. Olivia and I harvested some just the other day and got it in the dehydrator. These are the marigolds I started from seed. And look how huge it is. It's bigger than the tomato plant. No flowers yet, but it looks like there might be some flowers starting here on the top. These are the little peppers my sister planted. One of them got eaten, but the other two are doing really well. And this is her kale plant. I told her she needs to harvest off of it and start eating it. And then the radishes that were there, those few little radishes, they all just went to seed. They didn't really bear any fruit at all. So I just pulled them the other day and fed them to our rabbits. Everything is dry. This is like the middle of the day here. And she likes to water the garden in the evenings. So if they're looking a little droopy, that's why. This is our buttercup squash, and it has one little squash there and a few blossoms. So hopefully we'll get half a dozen squash off of this. This is the only plant that she could get to grow. Our cucumbers are growing again. They look droopy, but they need water. Marigolds back there are doing really well. This is a squash plant that is just dying for no reason whatsoever. It is just dying. This is our zucchini plant, big, healthy. We've already gotten several zucchini off of it, and there are several in there that are going to be ready to harvest in a day or two. And here's one that's ready right now. I will go ahead and take that, take it home. We'll have it with our supper tonight. And then this is a yellow squash over here, crookneck. And oh, it looks like there's one ready to go on here too. So I'll go ahead and take that. So those will be good with our dinner tonight. And then, oh, this garden. I told you in the one video that we had finally purchased fencing. This stuff is worthless. Don't ever buy plastic fencing, even if it says that will keep rabbits out, because it does not. See those bricks down there? That is because rabbits chewed holes in it, came in, and have pretty much decimated the garden. See those pitiful amount of corn that came up? We're going to get enough for maybe one meal of corn for my sister and for us. Green beans are looking, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get anything out of here this year, honestly. It's too late to keep replanting. It's almost July. It's just too late. So next year we are going to invest in chicken wire or some other kind of metal fencing that rabbits cannot chew through, because this is very discouraging. I really wanted black-eyed peas especially. I don't think we're going to get any. Let's finish up this update video with my growing table that's down in my basement. I think in one of my previous videos I had shown where I was sowing some lettuce seeds. We harvested those as microgreens. They were delicious. So I have started some more, twice as many here. And in this tray, it's all just radish seeds that you can cut as microgreens. And then these are mixed salad greens. As you see, they've just barely gotten started. I do need to give them some water, I believe. They're getting kind of dry, but they're doing really well. And then down here, I've got another tray that I just started, and you should start them off in the dark. So I have it covered, And then in this little container, I've got some cabbage seeds started. And as you can see, they are starting to sprout. And I'm going to plant these over in the main garden where that dead yellow squash plant is. Alright friends, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoy update gardening type videos. I promised you I'd give you one more glance at the chickens before they wind up in freezer camp, so I wanted to make sure and do that today. Our goal for Saturday is hopefully to get them all done. That's my goal. I just want to get it done and over with. Don't know, that might be too ambitious, but that's my goal. But anyway, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. And we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye, friends.